Welcome to this special broadcast. I'm 𝗟𝗓𝗙𝗘𝗦𝗧. Well, today we are going to discuss on how to prepare for various competitive exams. Well, as we all know that recently around 45,000 youths has been appointed by the Assam government, and again in July over 22,000 posts will be out. So what to prepare for the competitive exams and from where to start? These are the many questions. So to discuss on all these, I have with me career coach Dinesh Lahoti. So Mr. Lahoti, welcome to Northeast Live. So first of all, tell our viewers, Mr. Lahoti, if someone decides to sit for competitive exams, say for example, another 22 posts will be out, then from where to start? As we all know, the syllabus is vast, so how to start from zero?
Okay. So, if you're talking about the recent or the upcoming exams that will happen to recruit 22,000 students, youths for different government posts, see, most of the government exams have these few sections like, sections like they will have a section on mathematics, which will test their basic quantitative ability. They will have a section on logical reasoning. They will have a section on data interpretation. They will have a section on general studies. Now, most of these topics you will see are common in most of the posts that will be coming out and most of the other exams also. So, to start with, I think a very good way can be, they may start with a mock exam, they may take a past year paper and they may first start their preparation first by giving a mock test, and they should see where are they currently if they are to give the exam today. Now, once they give this mock test, which should be a past year paper, then they will get an idea which are the areas where they are lacking. Now, not every student will have the same gaps. Some might be good in maths, some might be good in language, some might be good in general awareness. So, based on their gap, they should start the preparation. Most of the time what happens, students start their preparation by studying everything, and as you already mentioned, the syllabus is vast and starting everything will not help them. So, I would strongly recommend that before you start a preparation of any exam, especially for these upcoming exams, why don't you take a mock exam and see where you are, and then on the basis of your gaps, start the preparation.
So as you've mentioned about the mock exam, so where to appear for the mock exams?
So these exams are usually most of the syllabus and the papers are usually available in the official website of the government. If not, then there are many institutes and many organizations. If you just Google, you will be able to get these past papers and you will get a fair idea about how to start the preparation. Okay.
So, how much preparation is required for, say, for example, if we talk about APSC or any other competitive exam. So, for how many months do one has to prepare if he or she wants to sit for any competitive exams?
Okay. So, different exams have a different syllabus, or I would say different exams evaluate different skills among the students.
Okay.
Now, for example, if you talk of APSC, the syllabus is probably the broadest among all the competitive exams that the student will be appearing when it comes to government jobs. So, in APSC, you will see the preparation starts for some, usually it's recommended that you have around 9 to 12 months of preparation minimum. But then, actually the preparation actually starts way early. Because in these exams, you are being not only evaluated in only one particular subjects, but technically all the domains, all different subjects, all different areas is what you will be tested, and not only in the MCQ, your ability to answer questions in MCQ pattern, but also you will be evaluated in terms of your writing ability, the way. So it's a very vast exam. So I think minimum 9 to 12 months ahead is ideally recommended. However, we have seen students who even require a longer time, right? Okay. And I think it's absolutely fine.
APSC, you're talking?
For APSC.
Okay.
But for other government exams, I think anywhere from 3 months to 6 months is good to go.
3 to 6 months for any competitive exams.
Yeah.
So they have to be selective, right?
Correct. They have to be selective, and they have to see, like for some student, if they know that their base is very weak, then probably they will need more time. Okay. But in general, most of these exams evaluate your class 10 level skills. So 3 to 6 months of practice should help them to crack these exams ideally.
So, Mr. Lahoti, is it possible to crack any competitive exam in the first attempt? If yes, then how to crack in the first attempt?
I think it's definitely very much possible to crack the exam in the first attempt. Whenever we sit for the exam, usually what happens, many students appear exam just for an experience sake. So that's why reason that there are not many of them are able to crack in the first attempt. But broadly speaking, it's very much possible. We have seen even a student from Assam cracking the first attempt in UPSC also this year, right?
Yeah.
So it's very much possible. What better example we have than Mayur Hazarika, who cracked it in the first attempt. So yes, it's possible. But I think you might be giving the exam for the first time, but your preparation starts way more ahead usually for these exams. So your habits like reading newspaper, you're getting more aware about the different things that are happening around you. You're, you're developing your basic foundation. So the earlier you develop a foundation, then one attempt is definitely a possibility.
So as we are talking about, the upcoming 22,000 post which will be out in July. So what to study for the, upcoming competitive exams? Which are the subjects one need to focus on?
Okay, so here there are things like, so one, as I mentioned, that there is something you will be tested on your numerical ability, because most of the work that you will be doing for the government, I mean, start your servicing, you will be encountering numbers, right? So you should be very strong in your ability to handle numericals, right? Okay. So that is why always in any competitive exams, they usually take a section on maths, so which we say quantitative ability. So that is one portion. And we have seen in Assam, specifically, we have seen a lot of students are struggling with the mathematics. And for many of the students who are unable to crack, probably for them, the maths is a big factor. So I think definitely one is maths. Second is there is a section called logical reasoning, which is basically there will be a series of questions where you will be evaluated in terms of you will be given a scenario, you will be given a question which can be done, which will not involve very higher concepts, but a very common sense in the logic, which you have to apply to solve those those questions. Third is data interpretation. Usually you get questions around data. You have to analyze the data and give answers to those. Fourth is your English, your language comprehension, right? And the language comprehension is basically your ability to comprehend. Now, many students feel that they have to be very good in English to crack these exams, but it is not like that. It's actually your ability to comprehend, your ability to read, your ability and your understanding of basic grammar will help you will be enough to crack the exam. The next is your general awareness, which we also say general ability or general awareness or GK, right? Your ability, how aware you are about the things that are happening around you. What is G20? Why G20 is so special? Simple, like, current affairs, the more active, the more, more conscious you are about with the things happening around you will help you a lot in this segment. Then, especially since the students are appearing for Assam, there would be a dedicated section where the questions would be asked around Assam. So you should know your region very well, and you should know the history, the geography, the political, the social, everything around Assam, and that will be very much helpful. So broadly, Mary ji, these are the things that that comprise in any competitive exams, especially for the upcoming 22,000 posts.
So, like, how much time should be dedicated for each of the subjects you spoke about?
Again, ideal would be, as I said, that if they take a mock test, they will be able to understand. So based on the student ability, they might have to, increase the timeline or increase the time frame based on their preparation, right? But ideally, I would suggest doing every subject consistently really helps a child, because at the end of the day, you have to give a paper which will have all of these combined, right? So I usually recommend on an average, if you can devote 1 hour each on an average, that should be good enough to every day. That should be good enough. But as I also mentioned, it also depends on your initial level of preparation. Some might need some additional hours.
Okay. So if someone is bad, most of the people they are bad in maths. We can see, and for maths they are not being able to crack exams. So so what do they have to prepare for maths? Do they need to follow class 10 maths examination book?
Yeah. So I think if they go to the syllabus is of class 10 level, but if they go to class 10 books, then they will not know where to start with.
Yeah.
Right? And class 10 books are designed for a different purpose. So I would not suggest you to go to class 10 books. Rather, again, if you can find a good mentor or a good material around you, in mathematics to get started, but some material which is focused for the competitive exam will save your time. Now, if you just brush up those concepts, learn how to solve these questions in a relatively less time frame, will be way more better. And I would suggest that it will be better if you start with certain topics and do the past year questions around those topics, so that will be very helpful. Because ma'am, what happened many a times, students really don't know where to stop.
Yes.
So if they are enjoying a subject, they will go just on and on, and they somehow lose the track and don't understand that this is an exam and this is not a kind of a PhD topic that you are going into, right? So they have to put a boundary that they have to go in depth, but they have to define and they have to understand, they have to go to a depth till the time it's helping you to crack the exam. So that is a very difficult thing to balance, but I'm sure with more and more experience and more practice, students usually get it very naturally.
So can you suggest few books or online websites for preparation?
So one thing definitely is your official syllabus. Please stick to the official syllabus as prescribed by APSC. You will get the syllabus in the website. Please limit yourself to those syllabus. For preparation, there are books like, usually the recommended books are like, you have a book of R.S. Agarwal for maths and logical reasoning, and then there are a lot of publishers around Assam who are actually producing good quality content for this exam preparation. There are also a lot of online platforms that have come up recently in Northeast, especially for Assam, who are teaching you in Assamese and in other local languages, which will help and enhance your preparation to a much better extent. So I would suggest you to go to that, but as I said that it depends from platform to platform. So you know, a same teacher might be teaching a great content, but it actually, you have to find your fit. Just like, you know, when we go and shop a shoe, we want a shoe which fits in our leg, right? It doesn't matter how beautiful the shoe is.
Yeah.
So, and similarly, better whenever you approach any online platform or an offline coaching, better you go and take a demo and try to see whether the teachers the way the teacher is teaching, is it in sync to you? So, if it is sync to you, if you are able to follow, then they are your best teacher.
Right. So, Mr. Lahoti, we will talk more on this. So, we will talk on how to prepare for the upcoming competitive exams. But now it's time for a very short break. Don't go anywhere because I'll be right back. Welcome to this special broadcast, as today we are discussing on how to prepare for the upcoming competitive exams. So today I have with me Mr. Lahoti. Mr. Lahoti, now please tell us, so what to study for competitive exams, like how to be very selective, because we don't have much time. As you already mentioned that 3 to 6 months of, you know, testing is enough. So how to be very selective?
The best way to be very selective is if you can get some past year questions or similar exams which has happened in India level, and if you can see those papers and you can focus your preparation around that, that will be very, very effective. Many times you have to be very, I mean, that's where the role of coach or the role of mentor comes. If you can get a very good mentor or a coach who have probably cracked the exam or helped many students crack the exam, they will actually help you and understand that, you know, which are the part you need to focus and which are the part you should not focus. Because in competitive exams, I think it's important to know what to study, and even it's more important to know what not to study, right? So I would strongly suggest find a mentor or find a coach or find someone. I'm sure you will find someone in your locality or in your town who have cracked the exam. I think they will tell you very specifically which subjects, which areas are more important and which are not very important, right? But in general, I think the best way should be to give as many mock tests as possible. What happened, many students do problems individually, like separately, like for example, when you prepare for English, you prepare for English questions. When you prepare for general awareness, you prepare for general awareness questions. But what happened, the problem is the integration, because the exam would be one, it will not be in silos, right? So it's very important that all the students give these exams or do give a mock test of these exams. Now, they might feel that we are not very much prepared right now, but I think the best way of preparation is also to give exams or give the mock test. And once you give the mock test, try to understand and try to analyze which are the areas where you are lacking, and then focus on those areas. Okay. Because if you just do random preparation, probably it will be a lot of waste of your time.
Yeah.
But if you give exams and then you figure out which are the areas, okay, I couldn't do this problem, let me go deeper into this problem. So if you go it in that way, it will be way more effective for you.
And another important factor is time management. Time management is very important. So how would a person, you know, manages time for preparation? How to divide?
Again, like it's very, it will be very much individual centric, student centric. But in general, one very important way of managing time is actually a technique which I also have used and have helped many of my mentees do that, is block your time, right? So for example, you want to study logical reasoning. Now, there is two way of studying logical or any subject. Like, so one is that you start doing and you will keep doing till the time you can study. But if you block your time, okay, for the next 1 hour or for the next 1.5 hours, I will just focus on preparing this particular subject, right? Then what happens? Your naturally your entire body, your entire mind frame gets aligned to, okay, I have to manage entire thing in this time frame. So this is a very good way of managing time, that you block your days, you divide your days in some blocks, time blocks, right? And where you define that, okay, I'm going to study this in this particular block, and put your entire focus on that particular thing. Usually what happens, time management is also around, like, we are distracted with the world, right? There are so many distractions. Your mobile phone is probably your biggest distraction.
Yeah.
So when you study, and most of the students who face trouble with the time management are the ones who are distracted continuously, right? So a very good way is that you just block your time, and in that time you should not have your mobile phone or any calls or anyone around. You just block on that time, go deeper into that. You will eventually see that your 30 minutes of block, your 30 minutes is becoming broader in itself, right? So you will be able to bring more out of 30 minutes every time you practice it. So this is one technique which I share and I use, and I have been mentoring students doing it, and we found it to be very effective.
Right. So, Mr. Lahoti, now talking about the HS pass students, recently high secondary results are out. So, what are the options available for them, and how do they proceed on?
Yeah. So lately, like since the board results have come, many of the students are looking for admissions. So say in India, when we go and speak of college admission, there are basically two ways of how the college decides the admission. One is via your board marks, and the second is via an entrance exam. Now, most of the programs like courses like engineering, medical, law, design, they would probably require an entrance exam. Whereas the other lot like BSc, BCom, BA, many of them will require either a board exam or an exam like CUET. Now, with your platform, I want to again share this to the students, that nowadays what's happening, like for example, if you want an admission in Cotton University, you have to give CUET. CUET is your common university entrance test. It's like one exam which is being used to make admission into many different exams, many different universities, right? So all the students who are in class 11 and 12 currently, or who have already given class 12, if you have given CUET, then obviously you can take part in the counseling of the CUET. If not, then there are many colleges in region. Since this year, many of the colleges from Northeast are not participating in CUET as an exception. Right. So you can actually go and apply there. So I would strongly suggest that the one exam is definitely CUET, but based on your interest, there are a lot of other interesting programs that are available. Like I will just share some exams which I am getting a lot of query. Like I have been flooded with students who have given NEET exam, and they have probably figured out that they now need a backup. So for them, a very good alternate is National Forensic Science University, right? We recently have seen that it has been launched also in Guwahati. So NFSU, National Forensic Science University, they take a separate entrance exam, which you can see in their official website, and that exam actually tests your physics, chemistry, biology or maths, and with that you can actually, this is one of the many exams that you can look up to.
Now, very important question, Mr. Lahoti. Is it possible to crack a competitive exam without getting enrolled to any institute?
Yeah, I would say yes, definitely it's very much possible. But see, you have to figure out whether you are self-motivated, whether you are motivated enough where you can study on your own. If not, then probably you will need an institute to help you do that. But if you are very much motivated, if you are very much focused, then it's definitely not required to you to have a coaching institute. But I would I will strongly recommend you to do find a coach. Coaching might not be a requirement, but do find a coach or a mentor who have probably cracked the exam, would be the better person, so that they can help you with your strategy. There are so many little things like, how to fill up the OMR, how to give the exam, how to manage your time, what to do a day before before the exam. So all these things a mentor can help you a lot,
yeah,
which usually
so
a coaching
there are many
institute
tips and tricks. Yeah.
So
most importantly, we already spoke about the high secondary students. Now, if a working person wants to appear for any competitive exams or for the upcoming competitive exams which are out by the Assam government, so how would he or she manage work and preparation for competitive exam at the same time?
Okay. So definitely if you're already working, then definitely your certain part of time is definitely blocked, right? But then still what you can do is actually then your time is very less. Then again, I would stress that it's important that you divide your time in a way where you focus part of your day you give to the topic which are weak, in which you're not very strong, and the part of the day you give in the time where you are very good and you need further practice, right? Now, if you're very good in certain topic, please don't stop practicing it, because the part that you're very good in, and if you're working, probably that will actually help you crack the exam, right? But the part you're not weak in, you're not very strong in, please try to give a separate time to that. So you should divide your day in this way, that the part where you're strong and the part where you're weak. And divide the day, like maybe in the morning half you can focus on the weak areas, and in the evening hours when you're already tired with the day, you can focus on this.
So basically how many hours one need to devote?
Ma'am, again, it's a very depend from individual to individual. I mean, simple thing is try to study as much as you can, try to solve as many papers as you, because one paper, 1 mark can change your entire destiny, right? So it's very important that you should not have any limit in that way, rather try to go as much deeper as you can and try to give as many mock tests as you can.
Yes, so and lastly, very briefly, can you please share with our viewers, few tips and tricks to crack competitive exams?
Okay. So number one, like I always say, know your exam, right? Like just the way we do in bank, the know your customers, please know your exam very well. Try to see what are the skills, what are the approach, or what are the things that the exams are tasting for, are evaluating. Number two, please try to figure out the mock test paper. It will be very, very helpful. Number three, try to see, try to make short notes of whatever you learn. Now, in the preparation journey, you will learn a lot of things, but many of things you will probably not record, right? So please try to make short notes of all the things that you have done, and you have to remember that you have to again use this or revise this when you prepare the exam, when you give the exam. So I have seen many students who do a lot of practice, lot of preparation, but they have not recorded what they have learned or have noted down what they have learned, right? So we know that if you don't revise, probably you will forget, right?
Yeah.
So it's very important that you make short notes of whatever you are learning, whatever things you are getting, whatever techniques, whatever approaches you are developing. Please try to make short notes. That will be very, very helpful for you.
So revision is very important.
Revision and mock test, these are the two
Mock tests,
things.
most important things.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope this episode will be very beneficial for all our viewers, especially for those who are planning to prepare for upcoming competitive exams. So thank you so much, Mr. Dinesh Lahoti, for joining us this afternoon. So that's all we have in this special broadcast. Keep watching Northeast Live, and thanks for watching.